Recently, I've been asked a lot, how do I migrate from FluentCRM to HighLevel? A lot of my community is starting to use HighLevel because of its email automations and its automations builder, as well as the CRM functionality and things that my community would rather have access to off of a WordPress environment rather than inside their WordPress site. So I'm going to give you 6 steps to follow in the order that I would implement them. That's going to help you migrate from FluentCRM over to HighLevel. If you're not yet a HighLevel user, but you'd like to be, you can sign up under my white labeled version. I'll put a link down below in the description where you can learn more about that. And if you are a Convology Plus All Access member, you get it for half the price. Step 1 is going to be to migrate and build any email templates or emails that we send. This includes both of the email campaign templates that you use and the emails that you send inside of automations. So for example, if you had an email here, like a newsletter template that you regularly use. For example, when you go to create a new campaign and you can choose a template, I'll go ahead and bring that up here, and you say import template, you're going to want to rebuild those. I'm going to show you that in a second. The other emails that you're going to want to rebuild are the automation emails. So for example, in this automation, I'm going to send a custom email to this user. I've designed this email to look like whatever I want. Let's pretend it's a beautifully designed email. I would want to rebuild this exact email as a template in HighLevel. Now to do that, we're going to go into HighLevel. We're going to Marketing, Emails, Templates. Here in our templates, these are the pre-done emails. So there were 2 kinds that I showed you to migrate. The first one was a template that you would use for any newsletter that you were going to write or any manual campaign you were going to send. Here's an example of the template that I rebuilt for me. I have my logo at the top, I have some text, some extra little things at the bottom, and a customized footer. Now, whenever I want to go write an email, I can always just go to Campaigns, New, and then use one of my templates. So I can say templates, email newsletters, and I'm good to go. I also mentioned that you would want to bring over all of the emails from your automations that you've pre-written. For me, I created a funnels folder and I created all of my emails inside of here. So for example, inside of this workshop that I offer, this is one of those emails that I send out. It's part of my workflow, so I rebuilt it manually here. The nice thing is I used that same email template that I already created for my newsletters, and I just swapped out some of the content. Now inside one of my automations, you can see that when I go to send my email, I'm just selecting that email directly here. It's already pre-written. I just select the pre-written template and it will automatically send that email as part of this automation. So basically any of these emails inside of FluentCRM that I would send, I've rebuilt and I've just assigned them into my automations or my workflows inside of HighLevel. And the reason we build our emails first, well, because they get used in our automations and we can't create our automations without them. Step number 2 is going to be to take all of our tags from FluentCRM and remake them inside of HighLevel. While technically when you import your contacts from FluentCRM, you can import all of the tags at the time of importing. If you don't have a lot of them, I like to re-add them manually. If you do have a lot of them, you can go ahead and wait and do this as part of your contact import, which we will do later. The other thing you need to consider are lists. FluentCRM has tags and lists. Not every email tool is the same. Some email tools, like HighLevel, actually don't have traditional lists. So what I recommend you do is turn all of your lists into tags so that you can still keep that segmentation. So for example, I had my main email list here. I would want to make sure that I'm able to take all of my contacts that are in my main email list, come into here, select all of them, bulk action, add to tag, and I'm going to want to tag them as my main list tag. If you're planning on importing your list from FluentCRM, it's helpful to do this step now. We'll call this our main list tag. We'll click create. Now we'll go back to our lists. We'll select all of the users on our main email list and we'll say bulk action, add to tags, main list tag, or whatever you've titled your main list. Go ahead and say confirm. And now when we get to the import step, we'll be able to import this tag and use this to see who was on all of our different lists. Now remember I mentioned that HighLevel does not have traditional lists. Instead, it has what are called smart lists. Smart lists are created dynamically. In FluentCRM, lists are static or not dynamic. Lists, you either add people to them and they stay on them until they get removed, or people never get added to them at all. Instead, FluentCRM has what's called segments. Segments would be the closest thing to a smart list inside of HighLevel. Most people that I work with don't use dynamic segments inside of FluentCRM, but if you do use them, I recommend you convert these for the time being into tags, just like I said, to convert lists into tags, and then you can deal with turning them into smart lists later. To create a smart list, once you've imported everybody, you would just go to more filters, and here's where you would start to build out your dynamic smart list or a segment. For example, I could say that I want a smart list that shows people who finished a certain campaign or whose activity was recent, or I just want to see people who came from maybe a certain Facebook campaign or a Google ad, whatever it might be. I can make these dynamic smart lists, save them, and once they've been saved inside of my HighLevel account, I can access them here at the top so that I can see all of my leads who came in from my lead magnet or all of them that made a purchase and so on. Smart lists are usable in email campaigns. However, they are dynamic and people can come and go from them just like a dynamic segment inside of FluentCRM. Inside of FluentCRM, under Settings, you may have created custom contact fields. For example, I have a custom contact field called Lead Score. So I'm going to need to remake this custom contact field inside of HighLevel by going to Settings, Custom Fields, not to be confused with custom values. I'm going to add a custom field, and this lead score, let's say, is a number, so I'll choose the number value. Click Next. I'll call this lead score. I can choose where I want it to be placed. It's, in this case, a contact object, not an opportunity object. I'm going to place this just within my general information or additional information for my contact. Those are different sections in the contact profile. Don't worry, you can move them if you want in the future. I'm going to click Save. And now I have added my custom field. This is important because once I do my export, I can assign custom fields during the import process. Now our next step is going to be to build our automations. The reason we're building our automations so much later in this process is because, well, automations may use tags, automations may use email templates, automations may use custom fields, all of which we want created prior to going into our workflow builder because we need to use them in order to make the workflow. Hopefully that makes sense. So now what you'll do is you'll come in and you'll create a workflow. I recommend creating folders. For example, you can create a folder for different lead magnets, for webinars, different things that you do in your business. To create a workflow, super easy. Just click the Create a Workflow button, start from scratch, and now you can create a trigger. A trigger might be if a user gets a tag. And here's where you can see it's important to have those tags already made because we're going to say, well, which tag? Let's just say it was our lead magnet tag. Now, whenever anyone's tagged with a lead magnet, we can proceed to send them an email. And we can choose a template that we can send out to that contact, and it's already been made in the first step. For many people, this is the most arduous and longest portion of the migration. There's no fast way to shortcut it. You just have to build your automations. But you may find that in building your automations, you can build better automations or even combine some of them together. I have videos on my channel in my HighLevel playlist that show you how to create automations. Since FluentCRM does not allow for nested conditions like HighLevel does, you may have had to have multiple automations inside of your FluentCRM account in order to achieve what you could do within one automation in HighLevel. So be sure to play around and see what you can do to be more efficient and create more dynamic workflows. Once all of our automations have been built, it's time to migrate all of our contacts. To do this, we're going to go to the Contacts section and we're going to find Import Contacts. Go ahead and press Next. And from here, you can download a sample file for how to import your contacts. This is super nice because it tells you and gives you an idea for the different types of fields that you're going to need. The most important thing to remember is that in order to import a contact, you have to have at least one of the following: an email or a phone number. HighLevel will automatically merge and pair your contacts together based on those settings. Once your CSV is ready to go, you can just drag it onto the screen and you can choose how to import your contacts. We are going to create or update our contacts, and we're going to find existing contacts based on their email or phone. That's fine. We'll click Next. Now with these examples, we can see that we are able to map phone automatically. It detected it. You can choose whether you want to update to an empty value or not. I would say by default, just leave that alone. Looks like email, first name, last name, business name, those are mapping totally fine. And we can bring over tags. Notice that there are tags here. that are all within the same column. Some people have multiple tags, some people have one tag. All of these will just be imported automatically. And if they already exist, like I recommended you create them, all it will simply do is apply those existing tags to your contacts. If they don't exist, it will make them and apply them. If you had custom contact fields in FluentCRM, let's pretend that this section right here for notes was a custom contact field. You can simply select it, and let's say it was our lead score custom field that we made. You can scroll down and you can select these to go right into the lead score field or whatever it might have been that you created. Once all of your fields have been mapped or chosen not to be mapped, you can click Next. You can create a smart list if you wish. I typically don't do that. I also don't tag any of these other options unless you want to tag them, but bear in mind you will automatically get a bulk action anyway that you don't have to worry about tagging them as an import. It'll automatically be saved for you so you can reference back to all contacts that were imported. You'll get a full breakdown on what errors happened, what was imported, what wasn't, etc. Just check the box that you confirm that you have consent to add all these people, and then just click Start Bulk Import. Usually goes really quick. All right, that's my fairly quick guide on how to migrate from FluentCRM over to HighLevel. And I know this was a very high-level overview, pun intended. So if you have additional questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, or you can join a lot of other high-level users inside the Convology Plus community. There's a link below in the description if you're interested. And you can also get a discount for HighLevel if you're a member of Convology All Access Plus. Again, that link's in the description below as well.